it's not just because I want to do it, but it takes reorganization of everything. If you are not well organized, you cannot do even one job. You have to be well organized. Some days I find myself calculating really carefully my lunch break and running into meeting someone and coming back right
Yeah.
away. Waking up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, and going to bed late at night and figuring out how do you compensate sleep, how do you compensate eating well, and
Right.
maybe running and exercising. So and of course, as a mom of a 5 years old, you want to have a play date, you want to
No.
entertain your daughter, you want to go to the library or to the gym. So you have to be well organized, otherwise you cannot achieve anything.
Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor, and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of DFW Grit. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Taylor. Today, with me, Miss Elda Rata. Is it Rata?
Rata.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel bashful saying this. I had no idea what your last name was till I started seeing all your posts and stuff. Because it was, like so many guests that have been on here. I know you through my wife, through Tamika, and she doesn't introduce me to you as your full name. This is Elda. So, Elda, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
For the people watching it, Elda and I met, like I said, through Tamika at Aquario. Well, it used to just be, we used to just call it Aquario because there used to just be one. An Italian seafood place. Fantastic. If you guys are in the mid-cities area, Keller, North Richmond Hills, Colleyville, South Lake, all that stuff, delicious Italian seafood. But the more we went, and every time we showed up, one, you would always greet us. Husband Nino would always greet us. And every time we came in, Tamika would share with me a little more of your story and a little more of your story. So do me a favor and do everybody a favor. What is your story? Because it's every little bit that she shared with me, like it's long and impressive.
It's long, yes. And it's colorful, and I'm blessed, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me today. I love Tamika. You're one of those lucky guys to have Tamika next to you.
Personality.
Yes. Yes, we would see each other, you and Tamika, after 4 o'clock when you would stop by as soon as the restaurant would open. And I would walk in around 5 o'clock and find you guys there. And I have enjoyed so much chatting with both of you. And then let's not talk about Tamika, how empowering she is as a woman. I adore her. So yes, I am Elda Rata, simple last name, 4 letters, easy to memorize. I come from Albania. It's a former communist country. I moved to US back in 2013 as a single mom with my 16 years old son back then. I was prepared to work hard and discover and make it possible for my son to find those opportunities and be able to live a better life in US.
See, I didn't think that was a West Texas accent.
I started from scratch. I left behind my attorney license, my more than 16 years of education. I had built a life there. It was not easy for me, considering the mentality of a former communist country. But, with, again, with consistency and persistence and hard work, I was willing to study and establish life as a single mom.
Now, did you come right to Texas, or were you? No, you were in New York.
I came to New York.
Okay.
Went to New York first, and then we moved to Texas. I moved to Texas because I followed my husband. I trusted that Texas was a better state to live in. We visited first. I loved it, and that's when we decided to move and raise our daughter. That's how I ended up in US because of my son. I am very grateful because I met wonderful people, and one of them whom I dedicate my success and the way that how I established life in US is my boss. He is the one who valued hard work, integrity, and doing things the right way, whom I still work for. And I'm very fortunate to have known him and the team that I'm part of it.
So did you work from in New York, or is like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I came from New York. I'm currently working remotely.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I travel. I'm still part of the United Corporate Services family, which it's just hard to disconnect. You know, it's
especially if you don't want to disconnect.
I don't want to. I joke with Nino sometimes. I say it's so hard for me to divorce Michael. Michael is my boss's name. He is a wonderful man, very wise, and I've learned a lot from him.
So when you came over, you said it was 2013?
2013 is when I moved from Albania. I went to law school. I graduated this master's degree at Pace Law School in White Plains. While I was working 2 jobs. I was studying. I have always worked hard to achieve my goals.
And he had a 16-year-old in tow this whole time?
He was my biggest motivation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he...
He was very supportive.
What is... because I only know American 16-year-olds, and they can be... Nothing against your son, but a handful, let's say.
You've met Dennis, haven't you?
Yeah, but he wasn't 16.
No, he's 28 now, yes. Dennis was always very smart. He adjusted well. He has helped me a lot. He would bring me food at the library while I would be studying. He was always next to me and very supportive. We have always been like roommates, best friends, you name it. We've gone through a lot together. I'm very happy that he's now a grown-up man and smart and very pleasant to chat with and spend time with him.
He's still in New York, right?
He is in New York, yes.
So when you guys came here, it sounds maybe kind of like a silly question. Like, how'd you find a job? Like this, Michael.
Oh, to US.
Yeah.
When we came to US.
How'd you find that first husband?
I started from the scratch. I started serving at a Turkish place in New Jersey.
Oh, so you didn't take your attorney stuff there and come here and just continue being an attorney?
I had to go to school and I had to be a lawyer in US because my degrees were not enough. I had to validate everything, and I needed to study introduction to U.S. Legal system and everything that comes with it. Civil law is very different from common law. You really need to study some subjects here before you can help people in legal. Yeah. Legal needs.
How did he take it? How did Michael, right?
Michael.
How did Michael take it when you told him, "Hey, I'm going south. I found a guy."
Actually, with Nino, we met while he was in New York. Nino was in New York. He opened this restaurant next to my work. And we did not know that we're next to each other. We had known each other before.
Before New York?
Before New York. We re-met with Nino after
no way.
23 years, yes.
So they can do the math on their own. How old were you when you moved here?
I was young. I was a young mom. We don't say the age.
Okay, that's fair. So, but you knew him before you even came over here, and then you had lost touch for whatever reason. Life happens.
We had our own lives. Yes. Yeah. Back then, when we used to be engaged, as a matter of fact.
No way.
Yes. And we separated for different reasons. Life happens. He used to live in US back then. I was back in my country back then. So we separated and we had our own lives. I had Dennis. He has Ryan now. And we re-met. We re-met after 23 years.
23 years later, you guys were neighbors.
It was a spontaneous conversation between him and his friends. Friends from my childhood whom I did not know they're in town. And they happened to ask him about me, what's going on, how come you guys are no longer together. And that's how he started thinking again and found ways to reach out and connect with me.
Was it via Facebook?
It was via Facebook.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Zuckerberg.
Yes. I had just reactivated my Facebook the same day he reached out.
Shut up.
Yes.
That's so...
Yes. Yeah.
You turn it back on, and then, as the kids say, he slides into your DMs.
He does.
How did you guys figure out you were next door? Like, just in that conversation?
We started chatting, right? He was telling me where he is at, and he was telling me about his life. And we continued the conversation because he was divorced. He had a son. And I was telling him that I'm a single mom and I have a son. And that's how the conversation started.
Yeah.
And then, where do you live and where do I work? And we figured out we've been sharing the same parking lot for 6 months. Yep. Yeah.
So he was doing a restaurant thing. You were doing your law stuff at that time, I imagine, then? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's true. Yep. I mean, eventually especially after I moved to US, I did think about him because back then in 1995, we were engaged, and that was the first time when I thought about moving to US. Until fast forward in 2013, I moved here. And I would think as I would struggle to adjust and to settle in US, I would think about him, as someone who was in my life many years ago. And how would he be proud if he knew that I'm graduating from Pace Law School and I'm making a living by myself in US. It's not easy.
And then one day a little red thing pops up on Facebook.
Yes, we met. We wanted to meet next day, and that's what happened. We met next day and we said we're never going to separate again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That should be a book.
Yeah. In a week, he proposed me, and we knew that we wanted to spend the rest of our lives together. Yeah.
So how long? Okay, so you met? Did you meet in the parking garage? That'd have been funny.
Not really. Okay. No. The hall of my building where I work. Yeah.
So from the moment you guys met face to face again in New York, to the moment you guys decided to move to Texas, how long was that?
It was about 3 years. We went through some challenges, especially after COVID with his business. At first, I was...
Oh, he owned a restaurant in New York during COVID.
Yes, the one that he came and opened next to my work. But really quick, going back to your question, whether Michael, how did he feel about this?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I'm sorry, Michael. I forgot all about you.
Michael was happy. He had to learn all about the story so that he would feel good about this surprise.
But think that you're just running off with some strange man.
He wants the best for his employees, and we consider each other a family.
That's awesome.
In the beginning, when we started having these conversations about moving to Keller, I was kind of hesitant because I had my family there, my job was there, and it was not easy for me to
you already made
disconnect.
One big move from Albania to New York, and now you want to go from New York to Texas. Two entirely different places.
Yes, completely different.
Like I already did this once.
Yeah. But we realized soon after we moved here that it was the best decision we ever made. We
just because you have a yard now.
We have a yard. People smile. People look at you. They look at you in your eyes. They're not rushing if you're chatting with someone here.
True.
Very considerate of the other's feelings, needs. They're mindful of your presence. This is increasingly rare as we speak.
True.
So I really appreciate that.
So what was harder, Albania to New York or New York to Keller?
Good question.
Thank you.
Albania to New York for sure.
Just because it was just so entirely different. At least New York to Texas, like, I'm still in the same country.
Yeah, it was kind of heartbreaking to leave everything behind and make this big decision to move here. But then when you consider so many factors that play a huge role in how the future is going to look like, I think it was a very good decision. But it was hard to establish life in US, especially as a legal professional who who I had just established life back home, you know. But you know, nothing is impossible.
True.
With goodwill and hard work, you can achieve anything.
Well, I mean, even just going off the hard work thing, like I've worked in food service. I've been around, people who own restaurants before, and it's in no way, shape, or form easy. So the fact that you and Nino, you had the one when we met, and then now you have two, and like we were talking before the camera started rolling, I didn't know you had another job.
Yes,
I thought you and him were just both, restaurateurs.
Yes,
but the fact that
I've
you're
always had a job. I have always had a corporate job and a stable income, as I say. Restaurant contribution was not by choice. It was because I have a husband who is into that business and has been for more than 30 years. And once you have a restaurant business in your household, you simply cannot escape. So I have helped Nino a lot, and we became a strong, really good team, partnering with the best chefs. And I have contributed after my working hours as much as I have been able to. I mean, do I wish I would have contributed more? Maybe yes, but I love my job. It
depends on the day.
I love my job. I love my corporate world. I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate and I'm grateful for what I have.
So going off the chef thing really quick, because again, if you guys are in the area, like it's a wonderful little hidden gem. How do you? I wouldn't. Do you have two chefs, one chef at each restaurant, or just one guy? Okay.
Yes, we have two.
And they're from what? Rome and
Chef Freddy is from Venice, and Chef Jimmy is from Rome.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you find that here in Keller?
Again, community, friendship, us being engaged. Chef Freddy used to work with us at the restaurant in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we became more than just co-workers.
Yeah.
He is part of our family, his wife and children. We are a family. And that's how we decided to move here and bring him here. He appreciated the fact that we had this project, and we assured him that it was going to be a good decision to make after we had realized it, of course. So he trusted that it would be the best thing to do for his family and his life, and he came. We opened the restaurant.
Is he first generation too then, like you and Nino?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Chef Jimmy is another story. Chef Jimmy is a cousin with my best friend here in Texas, the only friend I used to have, because now I have more. But yeah, that's how we connected, through friendship, community, engagement.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you had, just to try and put a little bow on it, you had your we'll call it your law job, just for short up, your law job, and then Nino had a restaurant in New York, and then it's 3 years after you met. Hey, we're gonna move to Keller, and I'm assuming Nino was
the one. Yeah.
Okay, and he goes, I'm gonna move there. We're gonna open a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you told Michael, hey, I can telecommute.
I know.
So then you come down here, you open. Was Aquario the first one?
Aquario, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're doing those two things, and Aquario. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tamika told me. So didn't that win like best new restaurant in South Lake?
Yes.
Without even being open a year.
Yes, best fine dining, best restaurant as we speak, and best restaurant and chef. But
and then Nino goes, you know what we need? Another one.
Yes, there was a high demand for us to expand. We would spend time Friday evenings and Saturday evenings and Saturday all day and Sundays with our customers and friends, and they would ask every day, when are you guys going to expand? We need another aquarium. And we said, you know what? Let's bring this second concept, which is a more casual. It reaches a completely different demographic from the other side of the city. And let's make Keller a destination. We invested here. I was the big advocate for the second one, to roll sleeves and really introduce this second concept with Chef Jimmy. Yeah.
And I, not to keep making this about Tamika, but one thing she said was like, every time we go to Aquario, the original, she's like, we've got to pay for a babysitter. It's not a place you would bring kids. It's a place you go on a date with your significant other. And she's like, yeah, but they're going to open up a pizza place
where we
and we could bring the
them,
kids.
And
it was great. I don't know if she ever told you the first time we went there for the soft opening. I got a first and a third grader. And what do they love? They love cheese pizza. I'm like, you're not getting cheese pizza. You got a margarita pizza. It's basically a cheese pizza. But no, they go there all the time, and it's because they know of Aquario, and they know it's like, hey, you guys, there's a place for kids. So when we went to Aquario Pizza and Pasta, Calvin's like, oh, this is the fancy restaurant mom and dad go to. So every time he gets his little cup and he holds like, Dad, look, I'm holding it like a rich person. Like,
oh, how sweet. We love him. And we love our book buddies.
Absolutely. Our reading buddies.
Yeah. That's the thing about this community, James, is that it's a well-driven community, and it's friendly. We all now know each other. We meet, we chat, we share, we enjoy being together, and I appreciate that.
Well, like I said, first time, and then every time since we go into Aquario, you're always there to greet us. I should say always. I was there the other night. You weren't there. You were at the pizza place.
Yeah.
Guess who popped up? Nino's just like, hey, friends. Like, just it is. It's you. You know me because you know my wife.
Yeah.
You like me because you love my wife, and I'm okay with that separation. But
that's
it is
what
like
happens with Nino too. By the way, they like me more. I think.
I'd buy that.
Oh, I would like.
But no, it is like we're always greeted there, and it is truly just the community that you create in both of your restaurants is just it's a wonderful just little microcosm of the community that we have around here.
I never forget the very first days when we opened Aquario, the original one, when people would walk in and call Nino's name loudly and express their happiness that he was back in town. And Nino is he's a very hardworking man. He has such a good big heart, and especially his friends and people who knew him from before, they're very happy to have him back in town, and they've been so supportive of us.
That's so cool. Like it is like just like I said, I've only gotten little bits and pieces of your story from Tamika and a little bit from you here and there. Like it's cool just putting the whole thing there, and honestly like it's wild because to some extent Tamika and I shared, we'll say, similarities in that we're both from the other side we're from the north side of the country, up Minnesota, Wisconsin, and we moved across, came down here, and it was like we came down here with $2,000 to our name, the end, and then we created a life for all intents and purposes, and it's no small undertaking. I can't imagine having to do that, crossing an ocean first and then crossing a country, if you will. Like
it takes a lot, and once you set your mind to it, and you're expecting it to be hard, and you don't take things for granted, I think it's something that you can accomplish. And I keep telling the young girls and the young boys when I meet them, and people who I'm surrounded with, that I know AI is making it easy nowadays, but we need to keep working old-fashioned way, reading more, and just playing outdoors and becoming creative, because life is not easy.
With all that being said, you must have had in somewhere along your journey where somebody goes, why are you doing that? Why are you moving to America? Why are you moving to Texas? Why are you marrying a guy who wants to own restaurants? Like, how did you handle those?
I'm natural. I'm a simple person. I have, as I said earlier, I fought hard to raise a son, and he was the biggest motivation to me. So I feel like sometimes life put me in difficulties that I had to push mountains. It was that hard, but I stick to it, and I did not change. I did not find an easier way. I wanted to achieve what I had set as a goal, and as I said, you do it. Yeah.
in
push
those
forward. There is no other way.
in those same things. Because again, a lot of similarity. Like we're going to move from Minnesota to Texas, and we're both going to start our own businesses. Like there's not necessarily playbooks per
There
se.
is
There's
no
not.
recipe.
You're right.
No, but the other fortunate part is that I have a beautiful, supportive, big family.
Okay.
My parents, my brother, my sister, my uncles, my aunts, we are a big family. I have 9 siblings from my
Oh
mom's
damn.
side and 9 from my dad's. We're all so close together. We all take so much care of each other
Mm-hmm.
and care about the well-being. So I've had support. I've had support in my career, where my higher ups did recognize the efforts, the determination. I've had support in my social life through my family, friends. I am fortunate, I'm blessed, and I am grateful, and I'm so humble to keep working for a better life and future for
And
my family.
something tells me that, just again, as short as we've known each other in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it strikes me that once you set your mind on something, you're going to do it. And I imagine the other people in your life know that too. So maybe that even stopped some of the would be detractors.
Yeah.
Like, she's moving to Texas. Yeah, she says she's moving to Texas. There she goes. Like, no point in telling her not to, because she's got her mindset on something. She's going to do it.
Yeah, and it's not just because I want to do it, but it takes reorganization of everything. If you are not well organized, you cannot do even one job. You have to be well organized. Some days I find myself calculating really carefully my lunch break and running into meeting someone and coming back right away. Waking up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, and going to bed late at night, and figuring out how do you compensate sleep, how do you compensate eating well, and maybe running and exercising. So, and of course, as a mom of a 5 years old, you want to have a play date, you want to entertain your daughter, you want to go to the library or to the gym. So you have to be well organized, otherwise you cannot achieve anything.
I mean, Tamika and I have a friend. He calls it being a student of your calendar.
Yes, I live off of my calendar. Yeah.
That's awesome. Elda, I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. Like, this is
pleasure.
I mean, it's some selfish aspect. Like, I got to put the whole thing together now. I was able to finally figure it out. Now, last thing I was just cover with people, and it's especially pertinent to you because, like you said, it's been a very long and winding story. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to bring up?
Facts about me?
Sure, I don't know. Whatever. Like, is there
I
anything?
can list a few.
You're right.
I played violin, piano. I was
course
a
you did.
nurse.
You were a
I was
nurse?
an interpreter, translator. Yes, I've done
Damn.
all that. Yes, I have. I did that just as a general knowledge. My mom was a worked in healthcare all her life, and my dad was a beekeeper for hobby, but he was a principal, a biochemist. So there were quite a few fields in my family.
Good God.
My brother was a soccer player, so I had to play volleyball. We have all these in my family. My sister is the one who covers arts and all about creativity. Um, so yeah,
Damn.
that's what I may have been covering until now. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more time I have to get all that. That's insane. Like, that is wild. And just to bring it home, we're running for Keller for city council.
Place 4.
Place 4.
Yeah.
Why politics?
I know.
I mean,
right?
it seems like you've got enough to do.
Yes. So here's the thing. I get asked this question every day. Why are you running? And I have one simple question because I can't think of any really. I want to serve. I love Keller. I love the community. And then again, people push back. Why are you doing it? Because you're busy. I have done this before where I have been engaged in the community in different levels. And I wanted to utilize my background. I wanted to I'm trained this way. I'm trained to be engaged. So I just could not stay away from it. It was perfect timing. We have 4 seats up for election. The seat I'm running for, it's an open seat. I was not gonna run if the former councilman did not resign to run for mayor. So I decided to run and contribute in a completely different way to the community.
Just had a little bit of extra space in that calendar that you needed to fill.
Exactly.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Shoot, I feel like I need to do more. No, no, Elda. Like I said, this was maybe so. It's future me's problem. Yeah. But no, like I said, this was partly selfish, just because I wanted to hear the rest of your story. Because I just from the little bits and pieces that I have been able to pick up, like it sounds absolutely wild, and I don't think I was wrong. But no, I really appreciate you coming in. This was super fun.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, Aquario Italian Seafood, Davis and Bear Creek. Aquario Pizza and Pasta, Keller Parkway, and what? So I tell people it's by Andy's.
Right there, yes. Or by AT&T store across from Starbucks and Kroger.
Awesome.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Thank you.
This was fun. You guys, as always, like, share, follow. I mean, heck, if you're in Keller, vote for Elda. That's my endorsement. I don't know if you can say vote for me, right?
Yeah,
why not?
Of course, vote for me. I'm number 1 on the ballot.
There it is.
Very easy.
Right at the top where you should be.
I know.
Delightful. You guys, you have a great rest of your day. Like I said, like, share, follow. Check out Aquario, both locations. Say hi to Elda. She'll greet you at the door probably.
I will be there evenings. Thank you.
We'll see you guys on the next one.
See you. Thank you.